I'd like to talk to you a little bit about making a plan for your daily quiet time with the Lord. Peter would tell us in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 2, that it says, as newborn babes, to desire the sincere milk of the word that you might grow thereby. So we understand for us to grow as Christians, right? There's something that we need. There's some essential things in our life. You're not just going to grow because you've been a Christian for a year, for 2 years, for 10 years. There's a process. There's things that need to happen in our lives to produce spiritual growth. And what Peter says there is that there needs to be this appetite for the Word of God, and that we need this appetite just like a newborn baby craves and desires that milk to grow. What we need in our life spiritually is the Word of God. And so one of those things, we know that we need it. I think so often what we neglect to do is to make a plan to accomplish the things that we actually want to do. I want to grow spiritually. I want to be more like you, Jesus. I want to, serve the Lord, whatever it might be, making a plan. How am I going to accomplish these things that I want to do for the Lord? And I think when it comes to our quiet time, our devotional time with the Lord, is we need to look at our time. It's the prayer of Moses in the book of Psalms, chapter 90, verse 12, where it says, Lord, teach us to number our days that I might apply my heart to wisdom, to look at our time, to look at our lives, and to realize, man, the time we're given on this earth and in this world, it's finite, it's momentary, it's a vapor, it's here in a moment and it's gone the next. And what am I doing with my life? And to honestly sit down and assess our schedules, to look at, I've got to wake up at this time, I've got to eat, I've got to get out the door, maybe get your kids out the door, prepare all these things, come home. Our lives can be consumed with all of these things that aren't necessarily bad things or evil things, good things. But what about making that time in our lives to spend time with the Lord, to get to know Him, to be in the Word, so that we can grow spiritually as followers and disciples of Jesus Christ? Well, you look at your time. You look at your schedule. Maybe it's in the morning. Maybe one of the things that you're going to have to cut out is sleep. Right? And you say, man, I want to get up. I want to spend time with the Lord. And maybe you need to get up a half hour early or an hour early from when you do. And I find that, the morning is a great time, but maybe you're a night person. Maybe the nighttime, you've got the kids in bed. You've got, everything's quiet. No phone calls or emails or text or anything like that. And you can spend an hour in the Word. I would say the best time is any time you can make that time to do it and to spend time with the Lord. I think for myself, sometimes it's like, okay, I want to get up early in the morning. And I think the harder thing isn't getting up early in the morning. It's making that decision to go to bed earlier in the evening. And so we look at our time and we say, all right, when can I make a plan to spend time and to do kind of like what Paul says in Ephesians, to redeem the time, right? We need to use our time wisely in this world that we've been given. And so, all right, I need to find that time, and most likely, probably, you need to make that time in your schedule, to set it apart and make a commitment. All right, Lord, here's what I'm going to do. Here's the time that I have, and I'm going to commit it to you. And then you make a plan. All right, here's what we're going to do to utilize that time effectively. I'm going to go through maybe the Bible reading plan. I have one called Let's Read the Bible Together. And we're going through it in January. We're going to read through the Bible and study through the scriptures. And I think not just having a plan and making the time, but finding a place where you can be undistracted, where you can read the Word, you can meditate and think about the scriptures that you're reading, that you can pray and respond to what you've been reading in the Bible. A quiet place. And by a quiet place, I don't necessarily mean that there's no noise or distractions or things around, though as great as that would be. In my house, that's hard to find. I've got kids, we have a family, there's a lot of busyness that goes on. But what I mean is maybe a quiet place free from distractions. Maybe when we put our cell phones down, or your tablet, put it in airplane mode, disconnect it from Facebook and Instagram and all those things, so that you can have time just to seek the Lord. I know for me, I'm easily distracted. I can look out my window over here and go, wow, look, a blue car, or wow, there's a motorcycle, or wow, that's cool. And yet my mind, when I say, I'm going to seek the Lord, I'm going to spend time in the Word, all of a sudden I start to think of all of these different things that I want to do or accomplish, or, I solve all the problems in the world right when you want to seek the Lord, right when you want to get into the Word. And so I would say find a quiet place where you can disconnect and then connect with the Lord in the Word and in prayer. And so I think you need to make time, to make a place for that to happen, to have a plan of going through the Bible, and then also with the purpose that we want to grow. Right? It's not just I want to learn information, I want to become just a smarter sinner, right? I want to grow. I want my life to change. I want to respond to what I'm reading. And I think what I find helpful for me is to engage my mind and my heart in the things that I'm reading and what's happening as I'm going through the Word. For instance, it might be helpful to grab a notebook or a journal or something like that, and to sit down with a pen in hand, and as you're reading through the Word and praying, all right, Lord, search my heart. Lord, what are you saying here? Maybe as you read through, writing down questions. Lord, what is this revealing about who you are and your heart and your nature? And Lord, how does this apply to me? Maybe some practical things like that to help you engage as you read through the Bible. Maybe we'll do another video, put a few more of those kind of tips in there. I think maybe a video about journaling and about maybe some things to write down to engage as you read through the Bible. Hopefully those are a few tips that can just kind of help you as you get started this year.